Hey friends, welcome back to Homeschool-ology. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. On this channel, I usually talk secular homeschooling, but I also like to share our lives in general, so you will get a little bit of everything around here. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about our curriculum choices for our upcoming school year. This will be the first in a series of 3 videos that will be spread out because I'm still making decisions on some of the other ones. So, but I wanted to get this one out because I know for sure what we'll be using for this level. So this video is going to be my 1st and 2nd grader combined, so it will be 1st and 2nd grade, and I will talk to you a little bit about that difference as we go along. So if that is something you'd like to talk about, let's go. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to chat with you today. If you are not, I would love it if you would head on down and hit that subscription button, ring that notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. It really does help us YouTubers out, I promise. And let's see. So as I said, today's video is going to be my 1st and 2nd grader. We do their schooling together, okay? So my 2nd grader, he's doing fine. He's on grade level. He just, likes to go at a little bit of a slower pace. Beauty of homeschool. We get to do that. We get to take it at his own pace. And then my 1st grader, my upcoming 1st grader, she's just ahead of the game. She's an eager little beaver. She loves to learn, loves to get in here, loves to do stuff. And so she is kind of, catching up to him. Here's the difference. Even though we do the same things together, I expect slightly different outputs from them. So my upcoming 2nd grader is going to be expected to output a little bit more. So for instance, I'm going to expect him to be able to read the sentence without having to sound out each word before he writes a sentence in the Pinwheels program, which I'll tell you about in a minute. For my upcoming 1st grader, I'm going to expect her to be able to sound out the words to read the sentence, to then write the sentence, okay? So my output expectation is slightly less for my younger child. But in order to save myself sanity, instead of having to teach 4 completely different lessons, I group them together because they are similar in age and similar in capability, and therefore it just makes my life easier to do 1 lesson instead of 2. Okay, so is that going to hinder my older child because he's not progressing as far? No, we're using curriculum that is for 1st or 2nd grade. So he's right on where he should be. I expect every output that is expected of him from the curriculum to be given, okay? Is that going to hurt my younger child? Absolutely not. If she doesn't get it all, that's fine. We'll circle back at some point. Everything that we're learning in these younger years, we're going to circle back and expand on in later years. So if she misses it now, okay, she'll get it the next time. So doing it like this is totally fine. If you have 2 kiddos that are really close in age, which mine are 2 years apart, but my son started here in Florida. They don't have to start until they're 6. That's a compulsory age. And so I started him at 6 and her at 5. So that puts them, 1 year apart instead of 2. So if you have kids like that, it's totally fine that they use the same stuff. It's totally fine, okay? Let them go at their own pace. If my younger daughter starts struggling, then I will slow it back a little. If my son starts to take off, then we will separate. But right now, this works for us. So this is what we're doing, and it's okay to do that. Let's dive into what we're gonna be using. I will tell you straight from the get-go that we are simplifying our lives. We have had a lot going on. We are simplifying. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to bare minimum for sure be using. And then I'm gonna tell you some things that we might get to so that you kind of know what kinds of things we like around here because if you're similar to us, then these things might work for you. But I'm going to preface it that I'm not necessarily going to be using everything that I'm showing you here today. These are just what I have ready to go for my students. First up, let's talk language arts, okay? So if you have been around at all, you know I love me some pinwheels, okay? We've been using it since my second daughter. I wish I had found it for my first because I think it would have been a great program for her, but she, you know, it wasn't made when she was going through that. And so I have been using it now with my second daughter, and then my son and my last third daughter. And we absolutely love it. It's a wonderful, fully inclusive language arts program. So technically, everything else I'm going to show you in this category, I don't need, okay? You can absolutely use this and just this alone. Is it a lot to set up in the beginning? It absolutely is. Is that a pain in the butt? It absolutely is. Once you have it all set up, is it super easy, open and go? Absolutely, okay? So yes, this is going to take a little bit of time to set up, but that's what the summer is for, okay? Your kids are off having fun. You are in here, you are working, you are getting your year set up and ready to go. You know, even though it's a lot, it's not hard. So put on your favorite show, get to cutting, get to laminating. It's not that bad, okay? And so that, once you have it ready to go, it is super easy to use. And I do have a video, I'll post it here, where I share like my tips and tricks on kind of like instead of organizing it the way they show, I did it a little bit different just to make it easier on me, okay? And so you might like that method a little bit better. So, you know, check that video out and see if that works for you. But yes, we will be using this. Now, that's it for sure. And this next one I'm pretty positive on, okay? This is not the right grade level. This is 2C. This was one that I got for my daughter. But I am going to use the Zahner Blaser handwriting level 1 for both of them. This is fine, and their handwriting is fine. I feel like they just need a little bit more copy work than what we're getting through here, which granted, that's my fault, okay? It's my fault because I don't necessarily always pull out the copy work because I have to make copies and blah, blah, blah. And right now, that's not simple enough for my life. So I'm going to be adding this in because it's already printed, already ready to go. They can open it, they can do a page and be done with it, okay? It's simple. So, and it doesn't cost that much, okay? So I'm going to be adding this to the pinwheels, not because I don't feel like pinwheels isn't enough, simply because I need something a little bit simpler, okay? And I could go through and make a booklet and do all this stuff, but I'm just gonna do this because it makes my life easy, okay? And I really like this program. I think it's wonderful. They just need a little bit extra practice, especially for their spelling. And so copy work is the best thing I feel like at this age for spelling. And so that's what we are gonna do, is we're gonna add that in. So those are the two things that I know for sure we will definitely be doing for language arts. I have two more that I'm going to have in my back pocket ready to go. And that is the Dash into Learning program. I got this a really long time ago when my son was starting kindergarten because I just thought it was so beautiful and so amazing. And I got it and I printed it all out and got it all ready to go, and we haven't touched it in all 3 years. So I'm going to have this in my back pocket. I think we're at a point in their learning where they are ready for it. And so I think I'm ready to go ahead and do that. I also got the Dash into Happy program that's about like emotional, what is that called? Socio-emotional. And so I'm gonna probably do that with them too, seeing how our things shake out, okay? We are no longer doing a co-op that we used to do that took a big chunk, you know, our whole entire Monday, and provided a lot of extra enhancement. We're starting something new that's simpler, easier, but might not cover as much stuff as this other one did. So, you know, all of this is going to be new to me. So even after 10 years of homeschooling, I still am going to experience some new things. So I hope to use that. Since I bought it, I want to use it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to that. And then last but not least is I bought a whole year of quill, and we only made it through half. And so I'm going to try to get to the other half because my kids really do enjoy this. This does include a little bit of other stuff, you know, like a little bit of science and a little bit of other things along with it. And so I feel like since we're going to be missing out on that co-op, extra learning, you know, that they got, that I just didn't worry about those things, that I might be, you know, adding this back in is going to be really good because then they are going to be getting those little things, okay? So those are the 4 things that I hope to use for language arts. Definitely will be using pinwheels. Definitely will be using the Zahner Blozer level 1, simply because I feel like it's just going to make my life easier. Not because the pinwheels program doesn't cover that, because it absolutely does. It's just a user error, not a program error. And so, but those two definitely, and then Dash into Learning and the Quill are what I'm hoping to use to kind of enhance their learning at home. Moving on to math, we will be using Math with Confidence, okay? You guys know I love it. I used Math-U-See for my older two, okay, because Math with Confidence wasn't around. And again, this goes back to simplicity, okay? It's simple at this level, and I'm hoping that the simplicity continues into the next level, because we don't always do the activities from the teacher manual, okay? It's not that I don't pull it out and look and see, and when we do want to use some of them are really great suggestions and ideas and fun things for the kids to do, so we will do those, and so I'm hoping that that system continues, because I really like how simple this is. We just simply open it, do a couple of pages, and move on with our day, and they are learning so much from this. I mean, it's wonderful. Even just doing the workbook pages, they are learning so much. It's just the right combination of like repetition, where it's not too much repetition, but it's enough repetition that they understand the concept. It's just, I love it, okay? I also love the Math-U-See program. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just this one works best for us right now in our time of life. But I do use the Math-U-See blocks along with this, okay? I know how to use them because I used it for 2 other children, and so we just use the Math-U-See block system along with the workbook, which, since we're not using the teacher manual that much, okay? So love that program. We will continue it. I do have Math-U-See on my shelf, so if I ever feel like I need to pull it out, I'll pull that bad boy out, okay? And then if I don't feel like I need it, I don't use it. So, okay, moving on to categories that I am not sure that we will get to. I don't know how our new years are going to go and what I need to cover and what I don't. And these things are what I feel like are enrichment at this level, because we're going to hit all this stuff again. So if I feel like we have the time in our schedule, we have the want to, they're eager to learn about it, these are the things that we're going to do. If not, then we won't, okay? Because they will get it eventually later on. So first subject is going to be science. So you guys know I'm a science teacher, and how important I find science is, how important science is, and how important I think it is for our younger kiddos to experience that. Do I necessarily think you need a curriculum at this age? Maybe not, okay? Because a lot of the experiences that you're going to be giving your children outside of the home, like field trips and co-ops and get-togethers and all those things, it's almost always science, because it's just easy and exciting, and that's what the kids want to do when they're in a group, okay? So I feel like they're always going to get that. And then we're reading books that are about animals, and books that are, so like I feel like it's kind of just like, we're out in nature, they're learning about nature, it's things they just kind of pick up along the way, and it's things we're going to cover later on. So if they are like, I really want to do science, I'm going to be, of course, using science chunks, because I absolutely love it. I love the activities. I love the lap booking. The lap booking has an option to have the answers in it, so they just are cutting and pasting. We're reading fun books. I always typically add a video. And it just, so if we're going to do science, if it's something they feel like they want to do, we're going to be using science chunks, because I love the program, because it's easy, because we can pick the topic, okay? So it's all little individual units. So this is a unit on solar system. So they can pick the topic. So it's something that they want to learn about, because children are more likely to learn, be excited to learn if it's something they want to learn about. So they pick the topic. We do a unit on it. Super easy, super straightforward. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so if we're going to do science things, it's going to be that, or it's going to be Mel Scientific box, kits, or KiwiCo crates, or an activity that we do in the co-op, or, they're going to get it, okay? They're going to get it. Moving on to history, same thing. We like to travel a lot around the U.S., so my kids are learning U.S. history like all of the time, Okay, we are learning about how life was back in the day by when we go to old houses or old farms. We are learning about the Civil War when we, go to places like the Civil War. We're learning, that have like battlegrounds and things like that, and museums and all that stuff. We're learning about the birth of our country when we go to Philadelphia and we experience Liberty Hall and the Liberty Bell. And so they're getting all this stuff all along based on, field trips that we do. And for me, that's kind of enough. But if they feel like they get really interested in something, then I will either do a unit study on it, and that's really me just like pulling a bunch of books together about that topic and finding a few videos about that topic, and we just do the videos and, something really simple just for them to learn about it, because things don't have to be complicated. You don't have to have a curriculum for everything, okay? If they decide they really want to learn about history, what I would use for this age level would be Curiosity Chronicles, okay? Yes, it's what I use for all age levels, okay? Because the way it's written is meant for 1st to 6th grade, okay? You just use the bits and pieces that work for that grade level, for where your students' capability are, okay? And so I would use this, and I would use the lap book from that to kind of give them a general basic entry-level understanding, because that's all they need at this point. But again, experiences are going to be the best things for them at this age level. So give them as many experiences as you can. That's my goal. So that is what I would use for history. Other things, another category, this is just an other category. I'm hoping to finish our woven melodies from Thistles and Biscuits. And I am hoping to get to a few other of their units, because they are so beautiful and so wonderful and so exciting. And I'm hoping to get out some reviews to you guys really soon on them. So somebody just like chilling out my mailbox. So I'm checking what that is, not a postman. So I'm just checking to see what that is. Oh, she's just letting her dog pee on it. Cool beans. Okay. But anyways, this other category, the woven melodies, I'm hoping to get to a few other units from Thistle and Biscuits, and then anything cool and exciting I find along the way, because, that's what we do. If we find something cool, we start it, okay? So even though I don't know what it is right now, I always have the ability to change my mind. And the reason why I added this category in, not just to talk about Thistles and Biscuits, but also to say that I have the ability to change my mind. And what I'm talking about right now might not be what I do, okay? It's only May when I'm making this video, and we start our new year in August. So I have the potential to change my mind. So I wanted to include that in this video, is that, what you see right now is maybe not what you get, but right now in my current situation, knowing the way our lives is going, and I need simplicity, and I need simple, and I need easy, and I need open and go, these are the things that I would use because they meet those requirements. Easy, open and go, simple, done, do it and done. Those are the things that work best for us in our life right now, and that's why I would use these specific curriculum pieces. So I hope you found any of that helpful, useful, inspiring. If you have any specific questions on any of these programs, on pretty much everything that I've talked about, minus the dash, well, I think I even have a Dash into Learning video that showed like me putting it all together. So I'm pretty sure there's videos on everything, except maybe the Zahner Blaser handwriting. But I'm pretty sure that I have videos already. If I don't, or if you have questions that you'd like me to make a new video, I'm happy to do so. Comment that down below, remembering to hit that subscribe button while you're down there. And then just let me know, and I'm happy to go into any further depth or information on any of these things, to show you a little bit around inside them, or how we use them, or any of those questions that you might have. Because a lot of these curriculum, like Curiosity Chronicles and Science Chunks, I use for both younger students and older students. I have a whole video, I'll link it here, on Science Chunks, like beefing it up for older grade levels. And so any questions you have about that, just let me know down below. If you have a 1st or 2nd grader coming up, I'd love for you to share down in the comments what you're planning on using, because that is so helpful to people who are just, having a 1st or 2nd grader for the first time. What works for us, you know, what works for people. So I hope you found this helpful, and I'm rambling on because I'm pretty sure I already said that. So I'm going to say a goodbye, and I hope you come back and chat with me again real soon. Bye.